Happy Thanksgiving to all if you're catching this video on Thanksgiving. If you're catching it the day after or days after, hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. A little bit of advice, just a tip from your friendly internet goof. Here's what I did. About 30 minutes ago, just got done with a jog. It was only a mile, but for the engorgement that's going to happen, it had to be done. I'm going to work out tomorrow as well. Thanksgiving. You gotta work that stuff off if you know you're gonna stuff your face. So when I was doing research for this, interestingly enough, the news was on in the background, the missus was watching it, and there was a restaurant here in California. I didn't catch the name. It was in El Segundo. That's a, what would you call it, like a suburb-ish city in LA County, or suburb of LA itself. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know much about LA County, don't live there, but closing down. It's a historical restaurant. It had been open for decades. Closing down. They can't face another shutdown, they said. So, congratulations, Gavin. Killed another. And I'm sure your states, cities, you have the same thing that we have here, depending on who your governor is. So, great job to all those people out there who are helping people avoid the flu and shutting down businesses and costing people jobs. So, great job, men and women in government. Great job. Here's one of those people. Denver mayor is branded a hypocrite for jetting to Mississippi to celebrate Thanksgiving just 30 minutes after he warned constituents not to travel due to surge in 19 cases. And you know what's going to happen to this guy? Well, let's read a little bit about him. Democratic Mayor Michael Hancock, nice name by the way, tweeted out a message to constituents on Wednesday urging them to stay at home for Thanksgiving. Just a half hour after posting that message, however, Hancock boarded a plane bound for Mississippi. His office admitted that he was headed out of state to celebrate the holiday, but insisted that he would quarantine upon his return. Shouldn't he quarantine when he gets there as well? Hancock was labeled a hypocrite and disgrace by outraged residents after the holiday plans were exposed. It comes just days after New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was blasted for inviting his mother and daughter to his home for Thanksgiving. So you know what's going to happen to him? You know what's going to happen to Cuomo for this? And for all those people that Cuomo killed? Nothing. In the case of the Democratic mayor, he'll probably get reelected. They're going to punish him by reelecting him. They'll show him. Now, obviously, you guys know that I talked about travel yesterday. So it's not about the travel itself. Spend time with the family, that's what it's for. That's what the holidays are for. It's the hypocrisy of it all. Telling me to do something and you're not doing it yourself, that just makes you a piece of garbage. Other high-profile politicians have been busted flouting guidelines that they have been spruiking. I don't even know what that means. I got to look it up. Amid the coronavirus pandemic, Governor Gavin Newsom attended a semi-indoor birthday party with 11 friends. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had her hair done at a closed salon. Lightfoot, same thing, hair done. We had Blasio out there going around, walking around during the lockdowns, getting his exercise on. And I'm sure in your area, city, states, there's tons of examples. And it's not about the thing itself. It just shows you that the fear isn't really there. That the fear that they're pumping to people, that they don't have that same fear themselves. And it makes you wonder why they don't have that fear. Could it be that they know something they're not telling us? Employers can legally force workers to get vaccinated against 19, but most are likely to make the shot optional instead to avoid legal pushback, employment lawyers say. And this was something I talked about days ago, last week even, when I was talking about it in the sense of the missus, because she works in a hospital as a nurse. And I was asking her what she would do if forced to do it. And the same thing, I asked the question of you all watching that video as well, is what would you do? Well, here it is. Health officials predicted the first round of vaccinations will be available as soon as next month. The prospect has raised questions about whether the vaccine will be made mandatory at the workplace. Legally, employers are allowed to impose mandatory vaccination programs. Legally, are they? Didn't know that. Doing so, however, will likely subject them to objections from employees. Come on, everybody. This is how you do your proud patriotic duty. Look out for your fellow American. Look out for grandma and grandpa. Get that vaccine. You wouldn't want to get your coworkers sick, would you? Would you? One of us. One of us. One of us. Remember that? I'll get that clip. Legal experts say most employers won't implement such programs to avoid legal ramifications, and there will be a ton of companies that do, and we will see the lawsuits. That's just my prediction. CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield on Tuesday said he sees the first doses being rolled out the second week of December. The day after Thanksgiving, I'm going over to the Red Cross to donate some blood. Power Red, they call it, just due to my blood type being one of the less common. I talked about this a few days ago. It cuts both ways, right? It's less common, sure, maybe they need it, but less people need it, I guess. So here we go. People with type O or negative blood are less likely to catch CV and die from 19 study finds. Guess who's A negative? This guy. I was joking with my wife about it. I was like, hey, the good news keeps on rolling, baby. Study of more than 250,000 people found some blood types appear less at risk. People with O blood are 12% less likely to catch the CV. So, congratulations, O typers. You won. Negative blood types, O negative, A negative, B negative, or AB negative, are 21% less likely to get infected. Wow! Type O or negative are 13% and 19% less likely to die of the coof. And I was just joking with her because she doesn't know her type, so we'll see. Try to get her to donate blood one of these times. She's a little squeamish with that stuff, so we got to get her to donate some blood and do a nice little civic deed. So if you have some time coming up around the holidays, you know, if you feel like you're all right with getting stuck with a needle, blood, plasma, whatever you can do. It's a good thing for people in need, I guess. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not trying to schmooze and be nice, but hey, if you can do it, if it's something on your mind, then check out the Red Cross or your local blood bank. And finally, and this is something I also talked about, obedience to our overlords. Twitter will start accepting new blue checkmark requests next year with guidelines that could put Donald Trump's verified status at risk if he loses his world leaders' protection. Twitter is bringing back the blue checkmark in early 2021. What is Twitter? Barely know. I just talk some smack on there. Parler, don't really post on there as much as I should probably to promote my videos. You know I don't really do that. If you guys want to sub, comment, like, share, you know what to do. You are adults, you know what to do. You don't have to be told. The status was put on pause in 2017 after Twitter came under scrutiny. The firm verified whites who organized racist rallies in Virginia. However, Twitter is rolling out new guidelines for the verification process. It also says the status can be removed from those who violate Twitter's rules. This puts Trump at risk, as he is only protected by his world leader's status. So obviously there won't be any more white supremes on there. No word yet on how low the bar will be set for black supremes and other white liberal types who hate white people in order to get their blue check mark, because it seems like those are all over the place on Twitter. Keep on driving that echo chamber, baby. Gotta love it. Deranged mofos on Twitter. But that derangement does generate some of the best tweets and some of the things that we laugh at, but it is concerning as well. And what's funny is they think the other side is the echo chamber. All of those people and their echo chamber, they see the right as the echo chamber. Interesting how that works. But I'll just wrap it up by saying this. It's what I said days ago. How long will you obey your master? I feel like Trump's an idiot for staying on Twitter. Period. Once they started shitting on conservatives, on his campaign, he was an idiot for staying on Twitter. You can love Trump, but you got to admit it. Same thing with the media, as I said before. When you're playing their game, by their rules, and you're in a way helping them win, helping them make money, helping them succeed financially, and they're here stabbing you in the back all that time, that makes you an idiot. And I say that in the sense of what I said before. Once he saw what they were doing, he should have jumped ship to those alternatives. As I said, you can love the guy, you can hate me, you can give it a thumbs down for that, but you know it's true. If you're on a platform, if you're supporting athletes, actors, musicians, companies, anybody who's against your interest, whatever side you're on. We see the left organize this really well. But if you're out there and you know that these companies are supporting something you don't support, if there's these athletes that are kneeling for whatever they're kneeling for and you don't support that, if they're not kneeling and you want them to kneel and you support that, then you're an idiot as well. You're just helping some company or some individual who doesn't care about you and what you value in life. You're just helping them make money. In that sense, I know it's hard because a lot of these corporations, for instance, like the Black Lives Matter terrorists, a lot of these companies are out there supporting them. So it's hard to find companies that aren't, where your patronage will help those companies make money. But it's like I've said over and over, if you continue to support businesses that aren't aligned with your interests, then you're an idiot. I'm just having some fun with it. Most people probably don't care. Most people can probably separate the two, kind of like the need for a product or service. But in Trump's case, he definitely had alternatives. And that's what I theorized a week or two ago when I was talking about when the election was lost. I felt that it was by and large lost when the Republicans had control of all three branches of government, didn't do anything about Section 230, and then when Trump continued to stay on Twitter. When Trump continued to obey his abuser and didn't take himself to other platforms that were more open to free. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be well. Enjoy the holidays. Friends and family, that's what it's all about. And don't obey your master. Be well, everyone.